Welcome to this week's Western Water Update. From flood protection in California to trout conservation in Wyoming, let's dive right in. We start in Stockton, California, where a major milestone was celebrated this week. Officials broke ground on a $1.95 billion flood protection project aimed at shielding more than 122,000 residents and $28.7 billion worth of property from rising flood risks along the San Joaquin River. The 10-mile slow levee, the most critically deficient segment in the Central Valley, is finally getting an upgrade. Governor Gavin Newsom hailed the project, calling it a key part of adapting to California's new climate reality. And it's not alone. This project joins other major efforts like the $600 million Pajero River project and $1.85 billion of improvements along the American River. Moving north to Wyoming, the Game and Fish Department is taking action to protect the iconic Yellowstone cutthroat trout. They're applying for in-stream flow water rights on 6 stream segments in the Bighorn National Forest, covering 24 miles of critical habitat. Biologist Del Lobb put it simply, saying water is the most important part of fish habitat. With only 25% of the Yellowstone cutthroat's original range left, this move could be a game changer for conserving one of Wyoming's treasured species. Also on Tuesday, big news for Colorado farmers and ranchers. Governor Jared Polis announced a new round of climate resilience grants with up to $30,000 available per applicant. Designed to help agriculture operations recover from disasters like droughts, wildfires, and snowstorms, the grants aim to build a stronger, more resilient future for Colorado's agricultural communities. In the high country near Silverton, Colorado, the Bureau of Land Management scored a major environmental win. They acquired water rights tied to the historic Mineral Point Ditch. For over a century, that ditch diverted water from Burroughs Creek. Now, it's being returned to its natural path, helping restore habitats, flush out heavy metals from the creek bed, and heal a damaged ecosystem at the Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site. Meanwhile, on the California border, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin visited San Diego to address the decades-old Tijuana River sewage crisis. Calling for max collaboration and extreme urgency, Zeldin toured the troubled South Bay treatment plant. But despite securing over $500 million for upgrades, local leaders fear that proposed federal budget cuts could jeopardize much-needed cleanup efforts. Back in Arizona, tensions are running high after Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed House Bill 2271. The bill would have required the disclosure of groundwater volumes in rural areas. Supporters say rural communities deserve transparency about their underground water. Critics argue the veto stalls meaningful reform. Either way, the rural versus urban groundwater debate in Arizona is far from over. The latest U.S. Drought Monitor paints a mixed picture. Good news for parts of the Midwest and Rockies, where rains have helped. But the Colorado River Basin states, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah remain deeply entrenched in severe to extreme drought. New Mexico even saw the expansion of exceptional drought. In the Four Corners region, the drought outlook remains bleak heading into next week. And finally, if you've ever wondered how the U.S. Drought Monitor is made, you're in luck. A free informational webinar will be held on May 1st, offering an inside look into how weekly drought maps are created and how citizen scientists can get involved. Hosted by the National Drought Mitigation Center, it's a chance to see how local observations power one of the most important tools for understanding water scarcity nationwide. That wraps up this week's Western Water Update. For more details on these stories and daily water news from across the Colorado River Basin, visit us at westernwater.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next week for another deep dive into the water stories shaping our future. Thanks for watching.